on the low coastal plains. Plenty rice and sugar cane. Same Guyanese blood in our vein. So make we burn out the hatred, time for erasing. Can't make that destroy. 6 race I share the same space in this 83,000 square miles.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
Brother is a brother, no matter which religion is you. Could a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu. Sister is a sister, real and true. One big part of culture brew.
And all of we together could really make this dream come true. Of a brighter Guyana for me and you. Ocean to mountains, hear this tune. Take it cool.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. My love runs deep like a beautiful rivers for Guyana. Oh, and when we stand as one, mighty like Mount Jerima, for Guyana, for Guyana. Our life would be beautiful, just like Guyana. She's blessed us with her own, just got to embrace her. They say, one and alone can't clap, so let's put our hands together. Give her a standing ovation, this great nation, a little gem of this world, yeah. Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our
And a very good evening to you guys, and welcome, welcome, welcome. We're broadcasting to you from the world's financial capital, New York City. It is the Diaspora Connected with yours truly, Ossie Rodgers. Thank you very much to every one of you that are joining us tonight. We're certainly happy that you are taking time out from whatever you're doing. Lots of stuff going on, and I know that you're taking time out to join us on this program, so we're certainly delighted. And you know, you've got the role to play in this program. As a matter of fact, tonight is going to be very interactive, because we want to take your calls. We want lots of people were calling me to tell me some of their personal experience of why they left Guyana and live in other parts of the world. Some people were telling me how they had to leave Guyana during the PNC reign, and we want to hear some of those stories tonight. So we're gonna take your calls. I'm looking forward to hearing lots of stories. We're gonna try to make it as short as possible, but I know that stories like this cannot be captured in 1 minute or 2 minutes. So we'll be giving you guys first come first serve, and we'll be giving you guys an opportunity to call us and let us talk about those stories. We want to hear those stories. It's important also for our children and for the future generation, these things to be documented, so the future generation can know some of the hardship that the Guyanese people face, and some of the reasons why some of our foreparents, some of our grandparents, some of our parents are living here in these countries. We got people under the PNC regime. People were fleeing Guyana in droves. Like I said last week, people were fleeing Guyana in droves. They end up in Canada, filing for refugee status. They end up in the United Kingdom. Some of us end up in the United States. Some of us end up all over the Caribbean, even Venezuela and Suriname and all those other countries. People were just looking to just any place that they can go other than Guyana. It was that's how people saw it. Anything other than Guyana. Once the PNC was in power, why were Guyanese running from Guyana when the PNC ran Guyana? We've had the mass exodus of professional people, the brain drain, and all these things that happened to Guyana all these negative things that happened to Guyana happen on the PNC regime. As a matter of fact, I have a few questions I want to ask you guys, and you can comment for me the answers. We're gonna do some question and answers also. You can comment for me the answers as we because I am trying to highlight these things so that our listeners, young people who do not know our history, or who just heard it by the way, or just heard certain stories that only certain stories that a certain section of the population wants to tell, and the other part of our history they do not want you to know. So they mask all of this, all of your history, by trying to give you an impression as though things are bad now in Guyana, but once the PNC was in power, everything was nice and rosy and dandy. So that's not the case. The rice eater, bench cop, the naughty professor, whatever happened to the zombie doctor? What was his name again? The man that called himself a doctor, Gavin Matthews. And you had the poor people governor. He was also poorly educated, based on the way he spoke. And so many of them, so many mouthpiece of the PNC. They tried to make you feel as though now things are so bad. But one of my friends did say that the PNC members and their mouthpiece, they suffer from zits, opposites. So when things are good, they see it as bad. When things are bad, they see it as good. You remember when Granger had lost the elections, and he was and they were trying to rig the elections. They were saying, let progress continue, let the good life continue. I don't know what good life they were talking about, because the rest of Guyana, those who are not blinded by the PNC blindfold, know very well that from 2015 to August 2nd, 2020, Guyana was in a downward spiral. There was no good life that was happening except for the friends and family of PNC ministers and those well connected at the top. Every single person else saw things dwindling when the PNC came into power. So, they suffer from opposites. And I got a first caller coming through. I want to take as much calls as possible. So let me take this first call. Remember, tonight we want to hear some of your personal experience of why you left Guyana. Good evening, caller. This is our very first caller. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right. Hello.
Yes, sir. You're live. We can hear you.
Yes, boss. I know you're live. Man, I got so much to say.
Well, start saying it. We want to
Well,
hear
I
it.
don't know. Well, I'm gonna start from it. You're doing a good job.
Thank you very much.
I know you from a long time since before PPP get back in power.
Let's talk about
When
what's going. That's
when,
fine, sir.
when you were from, was your front vehicle? You hear me? I followed it all the way. You hear me?
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something, man. I want to make this clear, bro.
Mhm.
You fighting hard. You hear me? But let me
Uh-huh.
tell you something. Both races, It's so hard. You know, I want to make this clear to you. I don't respect you because you fighting. You hear me?
I'm listening to you.
You fighting and you fighting out of respect though. But it's so hard to change the nation, bro. I live in New York.
Right.
You feel me?
How long ago you started living in New York?
Man, I've been here 26 years and I'm going home next month.
You going back to Guyana next month?
Yes. And it's not because of who in power or whatever.
Right.
I follow the PPP. The reason why I follow the PPP is because, man, it's so much story, but you're on the air right now. You know, I wish I could call you a day and discuss them things.
No problem, no problem. But
all my child, I got a couple of child mother. They're all black. I'm Indian.
That's fine.
I like black girls. You feel me?
So listen, man, listen up. Let us have this conversation another time.
Another time.
Yes. Have a good night.
I got respect though.
Yeah,
but you can't change these people back in Guyana. I'm gonna tell you right now. And then in Guyana, that you see the people in Guyana, they're living happy. But the racism is on the air that spread.
All right. Thank you for coming through.
Trust me.
All right. So that was our very first caller there. I like the comments. You know, we got some of the best fans here. So thank you very much for our first caller. And our telephone line is open. But like I said before, guys, you know, and we're open to everyone. It doesn't matter what kind of spirited drinks you might have had. We're taking your calls. We don't care. We want to hear from you. So we were talking about this PNC party and the mouthpiece who tried to give you the impression as though right now things are bad in Guyana. That's what they're trying to make you feel. And before, when Granger was in power, things was good. Well, let's compare it. Under David Granger's administration, people were paying for VAT on electricity and water. Older people were paying for water. Under the PPP, they're not. On the PPP, they're not paying VAT on water. So that is extra money, VAT on electricity and water. That's extra money that's coming into staying in the household. How could it have been better on the Granger? On the Granger, there were no stimulus package, no relief efforts, nothing. As a matter of fact, one time, they were saying that in order for you to get any help, you had to go and line up at Granger's house opposite the cultural center in order to get any help or any handout. It wasn't handled by an agency, but it was handled by at Granger's house. Remember, you've heard about party paramountcy under the under the PNC. On the PNC, you've heard about party paramountcy, where the party is more important than the country. So many people had to get like party cards and stuff like that in order to be able to get things in Guyana. Now, all you have to do is to be Guyanese, and you're entitled to school children's voucher. You're entitled to the Because We Care cash grant. You were entitled to the COVID relief. You were entitled to flood relief, and all these things. It had nothing to do with race or party card or anything like that. The only requirement was or is that you are Guyanese. So I want to ask you a question, and you can type your answers in the comments. Remember, we're still taking your calls also. Under which regime did Guyana become the second poorest country in this part of the world? Under what regime? Which party was in power when Guyana became the second poorest country only to Haiti in this part of the world? You can tell me your answers. Under which regime did Guyanese run away from Guyana to practically every single country in the world seeking a better life? And I'm talking about Venezuela and Suriname, even though and Brazil, even though we did not know the language of those countries, Guyanese were fleeing, pouring out our borders, running away to other countries. Under which regime? Which political party was in power when Guyanese were fleeing, when Guyanese, especially Indo-Guyanese, were selling out everything they had, all the combine and tractor and cow and everything, to come up with the requisite US dollars to flee, backtrack, and go to other countries. Under which regime did that happen? People sell out their house and land and everything else just to get out of Guyana. Under which political party was in power when those things were happening? Which political party is in power? And all you hear people talking about now, Guyanese talking about now, is going back home. We'll take another caller and then we'll continue. Caller, good evening. You're live.
Hi.
We can hear you.
Hi, Jose. I just want to... Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. You got to listen to us on the phone that we're talking on. Listen to us on the phone that you're talking to us on at the moment. Don't listen. Try to listen to yourself.
Okay, Jose. I want
Yes.
to congratulate you what you're doing, man. You're doing a very good job.
Thank you.
And... hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to share something with you. I'm
Yes.
living in New York, Queens. And I'm from the West Coast, Demerara, from Hague. And I just want if anybody could, whoever listened to your program in Guyana. Hello?
Sir, we're listening to you all the time. We can hear you. So what happened to that caller there is that he's trying to listen to himself on the device, and there's a delay. So when you call us, please talk to us on the phone that you're calling us from, and listen to me on the phone that you're talking to us on. Do not try to listen to yourself on the device. If you want to hear yourself, you can go back afterwards and check out the program afterwards, because there's a delay and it will confuse you. So please try to remember that. But as we were saying, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you, under which regime were people selling out all of their belongings? And our telephone number is on the screen. It's there for you. And to those of you, if you're listening to us or you're outside of the United States and you will incur long distance calls, you can certainly add us on WhatsApp and give us a call on WhatsApp. We take WhatsApp calls also. Good evening. This is the Diaspora Connected Your Life.
Hello, good afternoon, good night, Aussie, right?
Yes, sir. You're live on
Hello?
here.
Yeah, I'm calling from Canada.
Yes.
And good night to you. I just want to get to the point immediately. I just want to speak with this guy, Norton is the name, opposition leader.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know. This guy is the same reason why Desmond Hoyt, you remember President Desmond Hoyt?
Yes.
It's the same reason why he sidelined him, right? He Norton's in the party, same age like President Hoyt saw this guy has no vision. This guy is just a strong arm bully guy. He has nothing between his ears, Ozzy. It's just space, you can play soccer between his ears. No,
I like that one.
this is reality, man. This is as mild as I can. This is just as mild as I can go, right? Just as mild as I can go. This guy believes he owns everything, okay? And he never was given any position. He was sidelined by Hoyt. Hoyt knowed why, because he saw no vision in him. He saw no leadership quality. He had like 20-something, nearly 30 years to put himself together. He remained in the party, okay?
Right.
And
but
when
let's not forget
when
he was also sidelined by Corbyn and also Granger. Even though Corbyn did not serve as president, Corbyn was also the leader of his party at some point, and he refused to put him in parliament or have him play any meaningful role in the PNC.
Yes, because why he and Alexander they were upset that Corbyn got the position of opposition leader, and they end up in court. Ozzy, they were in court, right? Because Norton is so obsessed with power, he ended up in court. He and Alexander was against Norton. I mean, it was against Corwin. They ended up in court, and he had 30 years to pull himself together and try to learn something. Even some kids that got knowledge, right? He wasn't
Right.
able to do that. So when Granger came in office, guideline because Granger stuff for 30 years or 20 something years, he didn't learn anything still, right? So
Right,
you
right.
just
You
keep
know the
telling me
education.
because
Sorry to cut you, sir, but you know the education minister and the education ministry came up with a nice initiative that happened today for World Literacy Day, and it was drop everything and read. But Aubrey Norton went to I think was the Campbellville Secondary School and attempted to read. And even the young person that was reading with him, I'm told that that person was reading better than him. But this is the thing about the PNC people.
yes,
Now,
yes,
this
these
man,
guys are just want to.
go ahead.
Yeah, this guy, look. Even the court made a decision the other day, right? Okay, he said he's going to the appeal court now because the court ruled against him with this the court says it's legal. The appointment with Finlay, the
The
Integrity Commission, and the so it was
right.
legal, right? He says
Uh-huh.
the Chief Justice, a person who knows law, right, who could read and write and build all
And
of
who
us, right,
practice
who
law with
understands stuff.
integrity and decency
Yes, she's a
and
yes,
respect
she's
for
a
the law.
professional lady. Yeah,
Yes.
I admire this lady. I take my hat off to this lady. She's very professional, and very
All right.
subtle and careful in everything she does. He's appealing the case. The judge, he says the judge erred and this what miscarriage of what justice and that kind of thing.
Right.
He wants to rule the court. He wants to rule the government. But
Well,
let me
he's the
tell
only
you,
thing
Mr.
he's gonna be
Norton.
ruling, sir. The only thing he's gonna be ruling is the few people that are running behind him at Congress Place. Even Gita Chandon
No,
Edmond, I'm told that my good
she's
neighbor and
gone.
friend, I told that she
Yes,
bolted for the door because she
yeah,
cannot work
because
with such a racist
everybody will find
person.
him out now. Yes.
But brother, I have to
No,
let you go because I want to take some more calls. You want to get your last words in?
okay. Okay, I'll maybe call you back before the show's over, right?
All right, no problem. We'll take another call.
Yeah.
Good evening, caller. Your live.
Mr. Rodgers, is this you?
Yes, live and in living color.
Okay, I must thank you for this program that you got here, but I see your background shows you in New York,
Right.
but I know you in Oregon. But I want to say that your program is very informative in the fake news category, and you should be
Right.
ashamed of yourself. And I want to
Right.
say that you're a nigger, and you are
And so is your
you are a
mother.
nigger.
So is your
You're a
mother.
shame. You're a slime. You're a
And so is your mommy.
disgrace to the Guyanese
And so is your
society.
mommy.
People like you should be.
Your
You
your
should
mother
be.
your mother ought to be
Listen,
ashamed of you
listen,
because she
nigger,
made you,
nigger,
right?
nigger. You're a slime.
Listen to you
Lo-
calling me that word. You should be so stupid. Long live President Granger. You are such an idiot. Listen how you're stupid. Listen how you're so stupid. Uh, Listen, fool. This is how you're so stupid. Long live President Granger. The world knows that Granger is not the president, you clown. Yo, get off of my phone, you fool. Get away from here, you piece of trash. That's how stupid you are. You come and you try to talk. I want to have a dialogue with you. I knew from the time I saw the number you were gonna be a caller that was calling to critique, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then you coming on here and calling me the N word, and you're not looking at your mommy. Your mommy is just like me. She's the same color as me. So if you call me the N word, you're talking to your mama too. How stupid are you? And then long live President Granger. The world knows that Granger is no longer president. Only you, fool, know that Granger is president. How stupid are you? You just make your self look so stupid. Um, you just make yourself look so stupid. Trying to get the number. No, I want to get his number. I'll get. Oh yeah, his number is 6678 789-5210. That's the number of the idiot that just called and called me the N-word. Y'all could deal with him because he didn't see his mama. She's the same color as me. Anyway, the number again, 678-789-5210. Next caller. Good evening.
Hello,
Good evening, you're live.
is this Ossie?
Speak in.
Yeah, Ossie?
Yes, sir, you're live. We can hear you.
Oh, right. Okay. I calling from Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, I leave Ghana 1989 as a contractor, and I want to go back there and see if I can do some work. Also, I have a friend who is a structural engineer, and so all of us used to work in Guyana at the same time. So you want to come back? I don't know who we can see when we go back in Guyana.
Well, if you want to go back to Guyana, you want to do some work, sir, you just got to go. If you want to get contracts, you just got to tender for contracts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm about 75 years of age.
It has nothing to do with anything. You want to tender for contracts, go right ahead. It's an open economy, and every single Guyanese is welcome. And even if you're not Guyanese, you're welcome too.
yeah.
All
I'm
hands on
Guyanese.
deck to develop Guyana.
Yeah, I was a contractor back home, So I leave at 1989. I also leave.
All right, sir. So I've already given you the information. If you want to get involved in contracts, a nice place to start is the Guyana Office for Investment.
Okay, I'll tell my friend. The other thing, we traveling from Canada. Do they have any other aircraft besides Canadian Airlines? They're going to put more aircraft to run this route?
Yes, the government is is presently in talks with Air Canada to add some more flights, and other airlines also.
Yeah, because
add more flights from Canada.
Yeah, because we need it, Lots of people want to come back, and the flight is about 1,000 plus a flight, because it's just one airline, the Caribbean airline. That's the only airline flying. So if we get another airline, it's gonna be great for Canadian going back home.
Right. So, like I said before, the government is in talks with Air Canada, and they're working on other airlines. And because the market is now, Guyana is now open for business, more airlines will be showing interest in going to Guyana because now you have a government that is business oriented, and business people are trying to go to Guyana. So, thank you very much.
Okay, so when we go down there, who we have to see? Housing Minister?
Go to the office of Guyana Office for Investment. That's a good place to start.
Oh, all right, thank you so much.
Have a good night. You're very welcome. Take care.
Job. You're doing a good job there, man.
Thank you very much.
And your friend critics too. Oh boy.
Thank you.
Okay,
have a good night.
Have a good night.
Next caller. We got another caller coming through. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Rodgers. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored.
All right, my brother. I just want to say you guys doing a good job keeping it up. You're keeping the public and the Guyanese populace notified about all the developments in Guyana.
Thank you.
I want to say kudos to the president. He's doing a very good job. And I hope you keep it up and continue taking Guyana forward for the next 10 years, making our nation very prosperous. But I must say, Guyana needs an opposition leader. I don't think we have an opposition leader. The guy is a total joke and a politics and be an opposition leader and to be leading his people. I don't know. We have to do something about that guy. He's a total waste.
Well, I'm hoping that that party will correct itself. They're hemorrhaging daily. Some of their well-known leaders are no longer associated with them. The guy said, long live President Granger. Even President Granger refused to associate himself with the PNC, which he once led. So,
I think the guy wants to take Guyana back to the days of darkness. The guy is a total
the good thing about it, right? He wants to, but because of you and me and others, it's never going to happen. Because what we're going to do is continue to speak the truth here. We're going to continue to ensure that we enlighten people. and make people know what's going on. And we're going to take dissenting views. We're not afraid to challenge them. But you see, the other clown that just came through from Atlanta, right? He got to attack me based on race and stuff like that because he cannot cannot challenge me on anything that has to do with facts, that anything that has to do with facts about Guyana. You got to talk nonsense. So we got to keep educating our children. Once we educate, sorry, I know you want to get in. Once we keep educating our children, once we keep coming here and talking the truth, once we keep telling people what is going on, fools like that will continue to vanish away because they will find themselves very isolated, like the opposition leader presently, an
Yeah,
isolated man.
correct is right, sir. You don't worry with those people. You have to find fools. No matter where you go in the world, you have to have fools.
Right, and tonight
Right?
we just had our first one.
And
So
he's not better than you to call you the N word, you know. So he's
and his
he's
mommy
a
is the
racist.
same thing. She looks just like me.
Yeah, man. You don't worry with people like those.
Same color. He can't rain on my parade. He can't
No, no.
spoil my night. I'm having a good time. Every time
Yeah,
I come here, I have a good time because I'm
you
on the
thought you
right
were
side and I'm
doing a job, man.
standing for justice and truth.
Yes.
So I have nothing to bend my head in shame when I leave here. I come here and I speak the truth every single
Everybody.
night that I'm here.
Yeah.
And whatever I
Um,
speak about, it is visible for people to see. Whatever I come here and I talk about, you can look in Guyana, you see the evidence right there. So I have nothing to be ashamed of. He has a lot to be ashamed of. Long live President Granger. The only person that knows that Granger is still president is that fool and his mommy. Those are the only
yeah.
people. Anyway, that's it.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, thank you very much. Listen, I'm fired up tonight. I'm fired up. So wow, when the calls keep coming, they just throw for good evening, caller, you're live.
Hi, good evening.
Yes.
Hi, I'm just calling from Queens, New York, and I know a
Okay.
lot of people looking at your program. I know somebody from the government side
Uh-huh.
will listen to your program, and I just want to say that I live in Hague, and then if somebody could go in and take a look at the road, it's very bad, and the condition of the road is very, very bad because I was there like 2 weeks back, and
Right.
even was a
So sir,
problem for driving the road.
sir, it's not only Hague. There are lots of communities in Guyana. You have to remember that it was only just over 2 years ago that Guyana was rescued from slipping into poverty and into becoming a third world country again. So it's just two
Roger.
years that Guyana was rescued, and they got lots of roads to do. They have lots of schools to build, lots of hospitals to repair, lots of place to furnish. So while I understand that you're advocating for your community, there are tons of communities. I'm not making excuses for it because all roads will be fixed, but all cannot be fixed together
No,
at the
I
same time.
understand. I understand what you're saying, Roger. But the
Yes.
road that go into Hague back down, you have a road called the Bellingham Road. They're fixing that road and pitching the road. Why don't the government, Damalal or Nigel, use that
Listen,
money and fix the road that
so
what
so
people
let me ask you a
using
question.
instead of
Let me
use the road that the dead live in?
so
The
people don't
dead,
use the road to go bury their dead at the back there?
yeah, they're using the road to that,
So
but the
so what
road
are you talking
but that
about? Sir,
that
hold on,
that
hold on,
that,
hold
that
on.
road not need that road not need for a
Every
fix. That
road
road
that is
could
bad need fixing. Every single road in Guyana that is bad need fixing. And they're doing it in sections, and maybe you would prefer for your street to do before the Beringong Street, but there are people who prefer the Beringong Street to do before your street. And I'm sure that the minister didn't, or whoever is responsible for having that road fixed, and it's a good thing that you pointed it out that at least a road in Hague is fixing, right? So they're
no,
they're
but Roger,
spreading out.
you not understand when you say that.
So let
Instead
me
of
try to
for
understand
fix
you.
that road,
You
instead of
cannot
fix
choose,
that
brother,
road,
brother, brother. You cannot choose which road they fix. They have to fix all the roads. They have to fix all the roads. While it might be an inconvenience for you to, because your street is not fixed as yet, it is a convenience to others who have to use the Bangrong Road.
Roger, listen to me. You have to use the main road, that the Hague Road, before you get to the Bellingham Road. And
Well, the
if the
fix
main
maybe
road
maybe
itself bad, How you gonna
Right.
get to the Bellingham Road? What they fixing right now? Even to the
I
people, the majority of the people in the village. I was there last 2 weeks. The
all right.
majority people in the village condemn what they're fixing right now. They could use the money, use the crusher run, use the loom, use the sand, and throw something from the road, from the main road, so people get to use it, people will get to drive in a
Right. So
reasonable manner.
I
Till
could
they
make
get to fix the regular, fix the road, the
sir,
hay
you
road,
can
to
give me
get
an
a picture to the
opportunity to talk or
standard.
what? You can give me an opportunity to talk?
Go
You
ahead.
do not know, and I do not know the reason why they choose to fix that road for us. You and I can only assume right now. You, nor, and I would say myself also, is not a professional in road building. So let's leave that to the professionals, all right? And let them fix the country. Let them fix the country's roads. All right. I'm not saying that your road in Hague is not in dire need of repair, and I'm not saying that it should not be repaired right now. But what I'm saying is that sometimes we got to be a little bit patient and do not just condemn because we want to condemn. They're
Roger,
fixing the
listen.
road, sir.
Roger, listen
I'm
to me. I
listening to
know
you.
you have little grounds in the government. I know that you could do something for the people in Hagueback, right?
Right.
Me live in New York. You live in New York. But then the government not have to go and fix the road, pitch road. Let them carry some caution, even a 4 truckload or a
Sir,
5
let me tell
truckload,
you, let me
and
be
put
honest
them in
with you,
the
right?
big holes. Them.
I can share a little secret with you on this show here. You see the same crush and run thing you telling me about? One of my best friends in Barbies. They're behind me all the time for them to troll. And I'm sure he's watching the program right now. He and his family, right? And they have business in Rosignol. And they're behind me a long time ago to get little crush and run through on the road too. But I could, it cannot just happen just like that. I can advocate, yes, let's go fix this road, let's go fix that road, but I cannot dictate how the government must jump around and fix your road because you called me or that road because it's
No,
my
no, no.
friend. They have a
The
plan.
reason the
The
reason I
difference
call you
between
Roger because I know a lot of government people looking at your program.
my
All
brother,
right, and that's
they
the
have
only
a
way that
plan.
I could get through with you, so they could
So I am
listen what I'm
happy.
saying, so they could go in and take a look at the road and at least carry a few truckload of caution around and throw it on the road. In the meantime, the people could get to move around very freely.
All right. So I appreciate your call. I appreciate you calling. Thank you very much. I'm sure
And
that those that are watching are going to take note. But like I say, we cannot, because you call or because it's my friend's road, the government just jump and do it and leave other roads. There's a plan. This government is working on a plan. Unlike the government you had before. The government before was all about friends and family. The roads that were done was some minister family or somebody lived there. Now it's a plan. There's no specific target. You understand me?
I understand what you're saying, Roger, but the
All
reason
right,
I
sir, but
call
I
this
have to
program
let you
because
go
I
because
know a lot of people gonna see that there's somebody
so
from
you're
the government
highlighting
side
your
will go
issue.
in.
All right.
Yes.
So
Thank
let's
you, man,
hope
and
by
keep up the good work.
and here I want you to do too. When your road fix, I hope you call back and let us know that your road get fixed, okay?
Well, when I go back to Guyana next year on Wednesday 6, I'm calling you and
Well,
make
you
sure
don't
I
have to
come
wait till you
to.
go back to Guyana. You could call somebody and let them tell you when the road fixed it. Me, I can't wait till next year for progress report.
I'll call you for the next program, man. Don't worry.
All
All
right,
right, man. You
brother.
have a
Take
good
care.
night.
You too.
Right.
Goodbye. All right, so it's getting very very hot tonight, man. I had well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to read some of your messages, and then we're gonna continue to take the calls. And listen, if you wanna give us a call, 1 second. I know they are. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to read some of your messages, so just work with me here. Um, just work with me here as we continue this program. Let's see here. My brother, that caller full of hate, that use the N word and call you the N word. He's coming from a dark place of hate. Yeah, well, we're not gonna focus on him anymore. He had his 5 minutes or how much minutes of fame, and that's all we're gonna do with him. Whenever he calls back, I'm ready again. Um, Good evening. You're live on the Diaspora Connected.
Good night, Roger.
Hi.
Good night. If that
Good night.
man go back, if that man go back to Guyana next year and that road didn't fix, you in trouble.
Y'all putting me in the spot now. I
Roger,
got
this
to.
is hot. Roger, this is hot skull, mommy. Good night.
Oh. So I have to go and learn to fix roads now.
Yes, the man I got
How you
no
doing?
understanding. I'm good.
How are you? Are
Yeah,
you here or are you in Guyana?
I'm in Florida.
Oh. When last you went to Guyana?
May month, May that
How
gone.
how you like what you saw when you went down to Guyana?
Guyana getting real nice.
Okay.
Yes, very, very nice. And I know it's gonna be developing a lot more years to come.
Yes, of course. Every single day they'll be fixing and developing things and new things
Yes.
are gonna be put in place. And the
And this
naysayers they're never gonna shut up, but that's okay.
yeah, he sung like a real fool. I was listening to
No,
him.
we're not gonna attack our friends. We're not it doesn't
Yes,
even
I
matter
know.
who they are. That's fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he wasn't listening to you either.
I know. All right, so
So
anything
okay,
else?
Rachel. No, just take care. Just want to talk
All
to
right.
you.
Have a good
Take
night.
care.
Thank you
Bye.
very
You
much. Take
too.
care.
Bye.
Yeah. Good evening, caller. You're live.
Hello, good night.
Yes.
I just want to say something, right?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
from Guyana, but I live in New York for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a young man, grew up in Guyana. I lately moved to the US and stuff.
Okay.
I'm not dealing with politics and all these stuff, but one thing I want to say to Guyanese around the world,
Mm-hmm.
we have to stop looking about and talking about the past and what happened in the past. We have to move forward from that. We already make our mistakes. We already did the people did what they did in the past. Whatever happened, we have to move
Sir,
forward from all of
can I
yes,
just say get something in here? You
yeah,
remember there's a saying, and it's a one wise man once said,
yes.
if we forget our past, we are doomed to repeat it. We've
Okay,
got to
listen to
talk.
God. Listen
I'll
to
listen
me,
to you
right?
now. Yes.
That man who said that he's dead and gone, right?
It doesn't
He's dead
matter.
and
Jesus
God. No,
Christ is
listen,
dead and
listen.
gone, but we still
God,
listen
but
to his teaching.
Jesus Christ dead and gone, but he's still alive. So don't we can't put Jesus Christ in it. You understand what
Okay.
I'm saying? What
Okay.
I'm
Go
saying to
ahead.
you. I want to listen to me and listen to me. This right.
Hmm.
All of these guys make mistake, right? And they did
Right.
good things in the past. Bornum did bad, he did good. Chetty did good, he did bad. All of these other guys did good and bad.
All right.
If
So
we
here.
don't, no, listen, let me finish.
Yes. Go ahead.
If we don't move past from the bad things that we did, you
Hmm.
understand? The new generation on the 20th century that we're the 22nd century, guys, we're 22 right now, and
Hmm.
we're going to 23. If we don't look forward and do better as a people, Indian and black. If we don't come together and say, you know what, let's move as one people, one nation, one destiny,
I
I don't
agree.
think there's gonna be a better Guyana. There is too much hate going on in Guyana right now,
I
and guess what?
agree. But
And
can
I
I ask
must
some questions?
and I must blame put some blame on the media for it too, because most of the media is digging up in the past all the time.
So
They
can I
keep
ask you a
digging back
question
in.
now?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to ask you one question, right?
I'll
And
answer
I'm
it.
doing this, and I respect you because even though we might be on different pages, right?
Hmm.
You're being respectful. I'm respect you, but I'm asking you, it, name one bad thing that you can say Chetty Jagan did. Just one.
I'm not gonna dig up. I'm not gonna go back in the past either. Just no,
Sir,
no, no, no,
because
no.
but
I just talked to you about the past, and you want me to mention one thing in the past. I'm
yeah,
not gonna do that.
because
You know
sir,
why I'm not
because
gonna?
you.
You know, no, no, no.
But let
I want
me
you to
okay.
answer me. You know why I'm not gonna
Hmm.
do that? Because I just said we have to move forward. And if
Right,
you're gonna tell me about tell you something about the past, I'm not gonna do it.
right.
I'm talking
So
about moving
I've
forward.
listened to you. So can I
If you're
listen? Can
moving
you listen
forward,
to me now?
go ahead.
I've listened to you. I mean, we're gonna have a nice conversation here, but you just said, right, that the media is partly responsible for what we put out there, and I agree with you. As a member of the media, I agree with you. However, I am trying to get you now, right, as a member of the media, to point me. I know if I ask you about Bornum, I can show you things that Burnham did right. I'm not saying Chedi Jagan was perfect, but I want you to show me one thing that Chedi Jagan did wrong while he was president of Ghana, or even while he was opposition leader. That's what I'm asking you. Because as a media person, we don't want that to just slip, because then somebody's going to go report that, Ossie Rodgers agreed with you that Chedi Jagan did wrong while he was president. And I'm saying that I cannot find a wrong that Chedi Jagan did when he was president. He wasn't perfect. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand that you want us to move forward, but and I have to give you an opportunity to speak. I
Yeah.
understand that you want us to move forward, and you want us to forget the past, but that will never happen.
I know. I
That will
agree
never
with you.
happen. We've
I
got
agree with
to.
you. But
That is why they teach history in school, my brother.
yeah, you know what?
Go ahead.
One thing before I go, right?
Yes.
And I learned this from my parents, right? They say must never teach your children the things that happened in the past concerning the family. Because let's say, for instance, back in the days, parents used to beat you with a whip or a rope or a wire or everything. You know what I mean? And one uncle might hate you or something. No, this child grew up with a hate for that uncle because you tell them what they did to the parents, right? Now, if we as adults teach this new generation that's coming ahead about the past, things that we're not supposed to teach them, let them learn on their own and say, you know what, this is a new generation. No, I want. Let me make a point.
Disagree with you.
Let me make a point, right? I want to make a point. It might sound dumb to a lot of people, but I want to say this, right? If we stop teaching a lot about, what the Chetty did, what Desmond did, what Bornholm did, all these stuff, and let's say, you know what, let's move forward. You know what, kids, we have to make Guyana a beautiful place. Teach the wise way. I must commend the First Lady right now, what she's doing. You know what I mean? She's doing a really good job for First Lady for the country. But what I'm saying to you, the young people that is going to school now and all these stuff and seeing and hearing what we're doing now about teaching about, because it generates a little hate for different race. It generates a little different resentment.
I give you a long time, because if I don't want it to look like, because we are on different page, I don't want it to look like, I'm trying to cut you off. So I give you a long time, but I have to respectfully disagree with you, because we've got to know our history, and our children has got to know our history. In order for them to know where we came from, they've got to learn what transpired in the past. So it is the reason why every single country in the world, on their education curriculum, they teach you about their history.
True.
So I cannot agree with you that we should not teach our children to hate. Even if we go through a bad spell in the past, we should tell our children, listen, this is what happened to me back then. But I am not bitter. I'm not angry. And I do not take that forward with me. I forgive. But make sure that you do not allow this to happen to you. This is what we went through. That's all it is, brother.
And
Let
one
me
thing,
take a few more. Go ahead.
yeah, one thing before we go, I must say to the viewers, not because people calling with their own opinion is your place to say they're clowns and disrespect them. And everybody get a point of view. I'm not a politician. I don't vote for nobody in Guyana. So the viewers that are saying all these stuff on the internet that I'm reading, you know what I mean? I want to tell you guys something. You guys are not calling, you're just commenting and saying things. You gotta respect each other once you're saying the things you're saying on the internet, because kids are not reading it. So just pull yourself up, people.
I'm glad that we're gonna end on that note, so that we can both agree about something here. So
Yes.
sometimes we've got to make sure that our comments are, but sometimes, it was a great former First Lady of this country, the United States, who said to
Definitely.
us, right, that when they go low, we go high. But
Definitely.
I had to add another little piece to that.
Go ahead.
Sometimes we've got to go low into the gutters also because we're able to beat and teach in that gutter and bring that person out of that gutter as a um as a reformed person. I thank you very much.
Welcome.
Take care. All right, so the phone was ringing like crazy, and our time is almost gone. And I know, you know what we were supposed to do tonight? We were supposed to let people talk about, but I'm enjoying this. So let's take another call. Call. Good evening. You're live.
Good
Caller,
evening,
good evening.
sir.
We can hear you. Hi.
Yes. Good evening. How are we doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, in responding to the two callers that called that recently or just a while ago.
Yeah. Just we got time running out. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me just summarize this. Now,
Yes.
Guyana is at a critical juncture in our history. Okay?
Right.
We at a point where we are transitioning into a different path, and that path meant an economic expansion. And so,
Agree.
if anyone that has the eyes to see, they will see that the government is working tirelessly and no one or no community is excluded. But most of I thought the caller that call in connection with the road that he claimed that is in a bad state, and I thought he was living in Guyana or you were here in Guyana.
No, he went to
But
visit.
most of these people reside overseas,
Well,
but
I
they
reside
denigrate.
overseas.
No, I'm saying they have a lot of people reside overseas, Guyanese,
Yes.
and because they might get in a few bucks more, they denigrate and stereotype and tag down and run down their own country.
Well, to be honest, brother, let me in defense, and this is not because I live here, because I live there too, right? But in defense of those people, you have a right to critique your country also. You have a right to say when things are not right, to say it's not right. We live in a democracy here in the United States, and we live in a democracy in Guyana. And it is okay to critique. We want you to critique the government. I'm sure I do not profess to speak on the behalf of the president here, but I'm sure the president will welcome your critiques. Once it's done in a respectful manner that, listen, okay, maybe, sir, you're moving too slow on this. We want this done. That is what a democracy is. That is what a caring government is supposed to do. So you have a right
Understood.
as Guyanese living outside of Guyana. I'm saying that you have a right if you want to call and critique, by all means. But let's do it based
Understood.
on
But the
facts.
point,
Go ahead.
good. I'm going to be very short here. But what I'm
Thank you.
trying to say in context is that you have persons who would want to paint a very bad picture of Guyana. I could recollect a very short while ago on your program. I think it was two programs ago.
Yes,
Somebody
I
all
agree.
telling you about he can't sleep or he don't. How you sleep in Guyana? I mean, how you sleep in Guyana? How I sleeping in Guyana?
I agree with you. But here what? If that was a fact, I would have accepted it. But that was nonsense. And you have people who call and they are talking about something that they see might not be right in Guyana, and once it's a fact, we have to accept it, and we
And
have to vow
responding to
to
the second
to, to
call,
do it better.
responding to the second caller, right?
Final point.
Yes, he seems to be out of touch with reality.
Absolutely.
Because when you have
They have to be getting a lot of donation. That's number one. Did they, Ricita Mark, did they ever sponsor a black mother who have kids in Guyana, single black mother? I wanted to know if they ever did that. All this
Well,
racism and
I
racism.
could answer that. I could answer that based on the
No,
fact that they're always on social media begging for money. They're trying to
yeah.
fleece those same single black mothers and everybody else, fleece them out of money. Sherrod
Did
Duncan
you?
included, so you could buy a new suit
Well,
and
well,
that
here
sort
I
of thing,
call you, bro. I call
right?
you monkeypox mouth, so that's okay. So that's what I want. I tried calling Mark, bro, and I never get through. Like they don't
They're
answer
not gonna
me
allow you because they don't
because I
want
want to
descendant
ask them
views.
the same question. So many single black parents in Guyana who are, not in
Yeah,
school time. Did they ever sponsor any kids to school, or they only know for talk about racism and against
exactly.
this? When Black Lives Matter come, they're carrying Guyana. I wonder if they have, this is just a thing. If they have a white life matter, if they can bring it up to in Guyana. No, I want to know, brother.
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy that you
No,
got through,
brother.
man. Take
And
care.
send a message to them because your show
Yeah,
gets so popular now, you got to call for like 20 minutes to get through to you now.
thank you very
You know?
much. Appreciate
Send a
you.
message to them for me. Let them
I
let
will
them
do.
answer me,
I will
with
do.
that. Thank
All
you
right,
so
so
much, brother. Have a good evening.
you too. Have a good evening. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
coming through,
no
guys.
problem.
I the phone is going like crazy, but we've come to the end of our program. I was fired up. I'm ready to go, but we've got our technical guys and they've got to go and do other stuff. So Tuesday we're coming back firing again. All right, we're coming back firing again on Tuesday, and like I said, unlike the Ricita, unlike Mark Benchcop, unlike the Naughty Professor, unlike the Jumbie Doctor, and all the others that commentate on the behalf of the PNC, I am not afraid of descending views. I ain't even blocking that one. And I'm blocking nobody. I ain't blocking no number. Because like I said, you could call me whatever you want to call me. You could say whatever you want to say about me. I am doing the right thing and I'm standing on the right side. As a matter of fact, we could do it based on what the world thinks. The majority, actually not the majority, all the countries in the world see the PNC as a criminal organization that attempted to hijack the 2020 elections. All the countries in the world know that the PNC has never won a democratic elections in Guyana. As a matter of fact, it was the British Broadcasting Corporation, none other than the legendary, top-notch media entity, best in the world, the BBC, who did documentaries highlighting the PNC rigging of elections. And many other, and the BBC then had no horse in the race. They weren't on no side. And they've highlighted how many times the PNC rigging election. So you see, every time I come here, I am standing on those facts. I am standing knowing that every time I come here, I could walk anywhere and lift my head high because I'm on the right side. I am on a party that is taking care, or I am speaking, right? Giving my opinion on a party that is seeking to develop every single Guyanese. And those are the facts. I am speaking against a political party that is talking about blacks only, talking about isolating Amerindians, talking about segregation, a political party that rigged an election, countless time continue to rig an election. I'm talking against that. I'm talking against a political party that came into power in 2015 and enriched themselves only. I want any one of you to come anytime, including that fool in Atlanta, and show me one black family that was not connected to the PVP, that was not connected to the PNC, that was lifted out of poverty when David Granger and the PNC ran Guyana for those 4.5 years. I want any one of them to show me any sign of development that happened in Guyana when the PNC was in power in a very not so long ago. That's what I want them to do. Because they cannot confront me with facts. As a matter of fact, I want them to show me. Let me make sure, guys. I'm gonna wrap up now, right? They called the PPP a terrorist organization. It was their political party who had a terrorist in it that died in a United States jail that served as a member of parliament of the PNC, Abdul Qadir. They say the PPP is drug running. I want you to show me which minister or their family went to jail for drugs in the PPP. I could show you one in the PNC. David Patterson, remember his brother went to jail in Grenada? They talk about apartheid. It was the PNC who opened up Guyana and gave a white man a certain section of Guyana to come in there and to live separate, to segregate Guyana. They talk about elitists. It was David Granger and the PNC. Let's not even talk about David Granger. Let's go back from Barnum. You remember how Barnum lived like a king and the rest of the country suffer? Remember when the ambulance used to drive into Barnum's place and carry the flour for him while the rest of you eat rice flour? Y'all remember that? Yeah, he was living like an emperor while the rest of the country suffer. He and his people only were the only people that were living. He ride around on horseback and you have to worship Forbes Barnum. You remember that? You remember David Granger? He had this big political rally and he was such an elite that he could even mingle with the ordinary man. You had to take out the picture next to a cardboard cutout of him. Do you see that happening in the PP? Show me which leader in the PP that you cannot see. As a matter of fact, I heard leaders in the PPP giving out their cell phone number. Y'all could even call one of the lowest level of minister when PNC was in power. Which one y'all had the phone number to call them? Which one the community they used to come to and check you guys out and connect with y'all? Which one the community that the PPP did not go to yet? It doesn't matter. It could be the darkest of communities. It could be a community that is filled with Amerindians or Afro-Guyanese or whatever. The PPP is coming and bringing service to those communities. So every time I sit here, I am proud to do what I do. And next Tuesday, we come in with more facts. More facts we come in with. And who don't like it? Well, that's up to you. Like one person said, you guys are in a dark place. And I don't know when you're going to... I don't know what is going to redeem you. Imagine the naughty professor is talking about the president being installed and the PP being installed. What a load of buffoonery coming from a professor. We can understand, well, opposition and shadow ministers, but then they're parallel. On the other side is installed. But you gracefully accept that you're opposition. I don't know who they think they're fooling. But there are more smart Guyanese, blacks, Indians, Portuguese, Indians. They are more smart Guyanese. Across the board, they are more smart Guyanese than the dumb ones. And every single day, the PPP is going to continue to roll out educational programs so even the dumb ones can get a little smart. We're looking at 45 or more in 2025. Not based on wishful thinking, but based on the policies and program executed in Guyana by the People's Progressive Party civic government. On behalf of my technical team here at Sky TV, my guys, they look tired. On the behalf of our technical team over there in Guyana, at the Guyanese Critic, the Daybreak News platform, I want to say thank you guys very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your calls. And thank you for your messages. And you guys have a restful night. And let's talk again on Tuesday and be safe out there, okay, guys? It's one love, my people. Take care.
Bire mazak wuro nogong. Moro wiya kok manoro tijik ni guys.